Lesson 1. Definition of terms. Traditional literacy is the quality of being literate, which includes knowledge of letters and the ability to read and write. According to the CIA World Factbook, 83.7% of the world's population is literate, meaning anyone 15 years or older who can read and write. Alphabetic literacy remains extremely important and is a major focus in schools, public libraries, and institutions like the Library of Congress. Traditional literacy serves as the foundation for all other literacies. Without it, mastery of other forms of literacy would be impossible. Traditional literacy involves integrating listening, speaking, reading, writing, and critical thinking. It includes cultural knowledge, enabling speakers, writers, and readers to use language appropriately in different social situations. In technologically advanced societies such as Australia, the goal of literacy is an active form that enhances individuals' ability to think, create, and question, allowing them to participate effectively in society. Additionally, literacy is defined as the making of meaning and its clear communication to others. A literate person does more than just read and write. They use these skills to organize thoughts, test hypotheses, and make sense of the world. Such individuals recognize the importance of writing things down, discussing them, reading widely, listening critically, and responding articulately. The term literacy originates from the word literate, which appeared in the 15th century. It was derived from the Latin word literatus, meaning a person marked with letters, indicating someone who was cultured and educated. The subjects of the time, such as grammar, logic, and arithmetic, all had written texts that needed to be studied, reinforcing the importance of the ability to read and write. In this context, literacy was directly associated with the ability to read and write. Miller, 1973, divides the traditional concept of literacy into three subcategories. Basic literacy. This refers to the ability to correspond visual shapes to spoken sounds to decode written materials and translate them into oral language. In simple terms, it means recognizing letters and words, such as recognizing that the sequence BSA forms the word basa in Filipino, even without understanding its meaning. Comprehension literacy. This is the ability to understand the meaning of what is being read. In the previous example, comprehension literacy would involve knowing that basa can mean either to read or to be wet. Functional or practical literacy. This is the ability to read, decode, and comprehend written materials needed to perform everyday vocational tasks. For example, understanding the text on bata ay nagbabasa and knowing that basa in this context refers to reading rather than being wet. For literacy and reading to exist, two conditions must be met. 1. A text, consisting of symbols and grammar, must be present, and 2. A meaning or message must be communicated by the text for the reader to extract. Without a text, there would be nothing to read, and without meaning, the text becomes a series of incompatible doodles. It is also important to note that even within Miller's definition of literacy, the act of reading implies understanding. Simply knowing how to pronounce a word is not the same as understanding its meaning. Without understanding, reading has not truly occurred. Schleckley defines functional literacy as the ability to read, but not well enough to manage daily living and employment tasks that require reading skills beyond a basic level. Expanded views of literacy. Despite the popularity of American films in the Philippines, many Filipinos struggle to follow the actors' dialogues and instead guess the overall story based on the actions on screen. Over the past 50 years, hundreds of definitions of literacy have been proposed by scholars, adult literacy workers, and program planners. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, 2006, has acknowledged that literacy is a complex and dynamic concept, defined and interpreted in multiple ways. In 2004, UNESCO formally defined literacy as the ability to identify, understand, interpret, create, communicate, and compute, using printed and written materials associated with varying contexts. Literacy involves a continuum of learning, enabling individuals to achieve their goals, develop their knowledge and potential, and participate fully in their community and society. Notably, reading is not included in this definition of literacy, which suggests that literacy now extends beyond simply knowing how to read and write. In this modern context, Mkandawire, 2018, concisely posits that literacy is a form of knowledge, competence, and skills in a particular field area. This view is supported by UNESCO, 2006, Barton, 2007, and Mkandawire, Samuyamudinda, and Chilo, 2017, all of whom acknowledge that modern interpretations of literacy equate it with knowledge. The shift in the definition of literacy from reading and writing to knowledge is crucial as we explore the new literacies of the 21st century, which appear far removed from the traditional views upon which literacy was originally based. While traditional literacy, reading and writing, remains important, the new literacies emphasize the integration of different types of knowledge and skills needed for survival in the information age. The concept of new literacies is not entirely new, as it builds upon old skills and knowledge, but the contexts in which these literacies are applied are new in both nature and scope. For example, the ability to translate textual information into images. Communication has evolved beyond spoken and written words. Historically, humans have communicated through visual signals, such as the smoke signals used by the ancient Chinese and indigenous peoples of North America. In the Victorian era, there was even a language of flowers, where the arrangement of flowers conveyed messages that could not otherwise be spoken aloud. Modern-day communication is a mixture of text, sound, and images from a vast number of sources, which must be interpreted for their accuracy and reliability. The rise of new literacies is driven by the increased availability of communication technologies once inaccessible to the average individual. Three critical factors contribute to the rise of new literacies. Increased reach. We are communicating with more people from diverse cultures and across greater distances than ever before. Increased means of communication. We are communicating in more ways and at faster speeds than ever before. Increased breadth of content. We are communicating about more topics than ever before.